Hi, today I'm talking about doing this one thing when you're fucking up your child with your anxiety, depression, and or traumatic stress. And my name is Rachel McLeod. I'm a mental health therapist, emotional wellness coach, and therapist mentor. And I specialize in helping people do the brain work for resolving symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress. The brain has a wonderful process for this. It can get blocked and stopped, and it actually, this is what creates our symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress, and what resolves them. We get this unblocked, this part of the brain, we get it out of the way and get it cooperating with healing, and all of a sudden things are moving. And this is a really important topic because 100% of us that are healing and that have a history of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress, or present experience of this, understand intimately and have those moments where we are like, holy cow, I am fucking up my children. Okay, because our children are picking up this anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress from their mirroring neurons. You cannot hide this from them. You think you're hiding this from them, you're not. And that is such a sore delusion to burst, right? It's like we want to believe that we're doing the right thing. We want to believe that we're supporting them. We want to believe that our children are escaping their mother with this disorder, their father with this disorder, and they're being healthy. And then we're confronted with that. They have our same complexes. They have our same phobias. They have our same triggers. They have matching unhealthy dynamics, and this can really be really overwhelming. And you are really there's a really powerful thing to do here. And that's really what I want to talk about in this video because it happens to 100% of us, and giving up does not make this better. And if you are seeing this accurately, chances are you're going to want to give up, right? So let's not do that. Let me show you another way, okay? So when you're seeing this stuff happening and you're worrying about this stuff happening, that's one of the other things that happen with lots of my clients, that they're worrying about this. They're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing to their future? I know what this does. I know what the research says. Yes, it does say that. Yes, it's happening already. It's already happened. I'm sorry to burst everyone's bubble. Our children are being impacted by this, right? Some of us get to start our healing journey when they're little. Some of us hopefully are starting our healing journey before our children are even here. And some of us are starting when our children are teens, our 20s, and some of us are starting when their children are 30 and already have their own children and watching the dynamic play out. Okay, now let me tell you, because you are the parent, you are such a powerful, wonderful player here. You are the design. You're the person designed to create the most health and wellness in your child's life. And many people are like, oh, I need a therapist. They need a therapist. Yeah, that's fabulous. Let's do that. Get them a therapist. But you have more power than a therapist, I believe. The design, the biological design says that that's true. And you have the power to pass on to these kids amazing stuff through not even lecturing, not even talking to them, not anything, but through the mirroring neurons by them watching you. Okay. And so when you are fucking up your kids, and I'm just saying that because this is what I hear my clients say, and this is what I've felt in my head. Um, the number one thing to do is heal. I know it's not original. And I know you tried so many things. I know that you have meditating, are doing therapy, have been in therapy for decades. I understand. I get it. And we can really work this part of the brain to heal and to get these symptoms resolved so that your brain figures out health and wellness and you start passing that on to your children. This is not something that you can say, you can teach them by saying, don't do as I do as I say. No, that's not how brains work. Okay. Also, we try to fix this problem externally. It's not. It has to be done internally. So embody that healing. Okay, I know that's a dumb word. I don't hate it when people say that. So let me back up. Don't try to fix this problem from the outside. You can cope with the problem on the outside. You can mitigate. You can try your best, but the solution comes when you yourself have gotten the solution. Get the solution. Okay. Now, if you've got symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress, I know you're suffering, but what you also have is a lot of raw material for health and wellness that just has not been converted by your mind body system yet. That means we want to go grab these symptoms and walk them through your brain's process for healing and resolving problems, getting rid of symptoms, and creating the health and wellness that you need. Your brain knows exactly what that is. That part of the brain, that part of this process does not need help. But those symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress register as brain pain in the brain, and that pain shuts down the healing process. We need to get that process up and running, even though pain is moving through it. You see, it gets a little complicated, but it's really simple, right? When we're having racing thoughts, panic attacks, shutdown, collapse, fight, flight, freeze, faint, or fawn, any of those things, it's because there's pain moving through our nervous system, right? There's emotional pain moving through our nervous system. It might have been from 20 years ago, right? If it hasn't made it through yet, it's still there. We want to help that stuff get through the brain's healing process, and the brain will convert it from pain into health and wellness. It's the raw material of health and wellness for our brain. Our brain does not just make health and wellness from health, from fabulous experiences. We want those. I know you're probably already doing that. If you care about the fact that you're fucking up your kids, you also, I know you're providing a lot of health and wellness for them, but that's not how and not health and wellness for them, a lot of beautiful, fabulous experiences. But brains make health and wellness from the bad experiences too. It takes the negative experiences and the positive experiences, processes them both, and creates health and wellness. We want you doing this in your own system a lot. We want you to take your past experiences and get it up here with the positives. But the past negative experiences register as pain in the brain, shut down the healing process, and go back into the body. The body has to carry them around in their unprocessed form. This is what creates all of our symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress, right? So your brain, it has all these positive experiences up there, but it can't create health and wellness because it doesn't also, the negative experiences aren't also getting to the part of the brain that weaves these guys together and creates health and wellness. So you're only getting half solutions. That might make you an over performer, a high achiever raising children. And you might raise high achievers, but will you be able to give them health and wellness? Probably not. You're going to have to hope and pray they find the right therapist, the right person, the right experiences, the right divine interventions, right? But really, if we get yours healing, if we get your mental health, emotional health rocking and thriving, your kids automatically get that through humans' version of osmosis, right? It's absorbed. We absorb it through the mirroring neurons. It just loads right in. And it doesn't matter how old your children are, this is still happening. If you're 60 and your children are 30, you really can create more health and wellness internally, and you will load that straight into your children. Okay? But when they're little, this is a phenomenal opportunity to really heal. Okay, and I know that when we see how much damage is on the inside, a lot of times we're like, whoa, and we look over there, we're like, there's a black hole, there's a bottomless pit, right? And we can be overwhelmed. But it's this brains heal this stuff so fast. I'm never overwhelmed by this. I'm not looking over people's inner worlds. I'm like, ooh, that's a problem. Let's go. Let's get to work, right? Yeah. I As you keep having success watching your brain heal those things, watching your life transform, and you're responding to things differently, and your kids are watching you respond to things differently, and they're seeing more joy come out of you, and more safety and more security come out of you. It's just loading up in their system. They're grabbing a hold of it. I'd like to say it's magical. It's not. It's how humans are designed. So you hold so much power in healing, and it's okay to be overwhelmed, right? Find somebody who can help you that is not overwhelmed. Two, you're going to find tons of despair in this situation where you're looking at what's happened, what you've done, and the older your children are, the more despair you're probably going to feel. That stuff needs to get processed. That the despair contains information that, when delivered up to the front of the brain, creates the exact solution for you and your children to create the health and wellness. I see it happen all the time. That despair hanging around, that's chasing you around, putting you to bed, making you depressed, all that stuff is actually the energetic solution in raw form that hasn't been converted by your brain yet. Let's get it converted. Okay, so this is a different way of handling the situation, but it's the way, it's the real solution. It's not just a prop up. It's not, we're not going to jerry rig your children's childhood. We want to actually pour into it health and wellness, and it comes through you. And guess what? You don't have to do a perfect job. If we can get you 25% healthier, you have built something your children can launch up off of. If you're not creating health and wellness, chances what happens is the brain create is work like function gets made smaller and smaller and smaller. The brain actually loses function. There we go. Um, and so you're corroding your own wellness, and the guilt and the horror and the despair about your children. Your function is getting lower and lower. Your mental health is getting lower, and so you're corroding the platform your children will jump off of. And you can take some medication, you can do this stuff to support you, but it's not the same thing as your brain creating a rich health internally from the inside out that builds that staircase for you, right? And that's the staircase that you want to build for your children. You don't have to do it perfectly. You don't have to build them an entire staircase to heaven, right? But what can you build? And that's enough. And it's beautiful. And so when you find yourself and your anxiety, depression, or traumatic stress fucking up your children, it's really, that's really when we want to go in. We want to use the internal power source, the internal locus of control. I don't even know if I'm using that word right, but we want to go in and we want to do the work there. That's where we're going to create this, and our kids are going to just jump off of it. Watch. Okay, so um, do the external stuff, but you do this internal stuff, and your brain will reorganize the external stuff for you. It'll be working on the external stuff night and day, day and night. If you don't get this inner stuff right, your brain doesn't get the information, the new data, the new rich information. It cannot create the health and wellness and the amazing solutions it needs for you. So we really want to work this. It's really powerful, and there's a new way, and not a new way. It's the old way. It's the way brains are designed to heal. It's how brains function, and we really want to target a specific part of the brain to unlock this healing process, so that your brain will start creating your health and wellness from your insides. That all these anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress become the food that your brain digests and eats and creates strong teeth and bones, right? No, your boundaries, communication, connection, depth, intimacy. That's the stuff we need. And you know, if you're feeling like you know, if you're not feeling that depth of communication, intimacy, connection, communication, that sort of stuff, your brain's having a difficult time making this. We can help, right? And so I want to invite you to trial and play with three of my favorite interventions with this for this. These interventions work with that specific part of the brain. They're very different than what we do in talk therapy. These part of the brain, these interventions look a little weird. I invite you to try them out. I have a free training program called Interventions for Inner World Transformation, and I want you to get these in your hands and feel what your brain can do for you. I want you to feel your brain taking symptoms of anxiety and creating health and wellness for you. Okay, it's a really powerful, different process. Someone told me today that it feels like, gosh, what did they say? They forgot about their anxiety, and it was actually worrying them. I'm going to send them an email back. It didn't make you forget your anxiety. It actually helped your brain digest the anxiety, so that piece is digested. Now what's going to happen is that there's going to be more, right? And so we're going to help the brain digest. What do you need digested, brain? How can I help? Load it up. Let's go, right? We're going to do this for a little while so that your brain gets good at digesting this stuff, but also gets enough support to create the health and wellness you need. But these interventions really help your brain do that. They're powerful. You'll notice results. So I've left the link to that in the description part of this, and then there's more. We can do more with this, and I'll talk to you more about that later. And yeah, connect with me. Connect with me. Like, follow, share this video. Follow. Let's do this. Let's get your internal emotional health rocking, so that your kids can just launch right off of it and grow with their own internal health as well. All right, it's not over. It's not over. It's okay for parents to have problems. Children need to see their parents overcoming problems. That's what's important. They need to see you find a solution. They need to see you overcome. They need to see, oh, this anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress resolves. Oh, okay, I know what to do with my anxiety. Who doesn't have anxiety? We all do. It's a brain thing. It's a mind body thing. It's information. It's what the brain uses to create courage and hope and new beginnings and new ways of being. Okay, so I invite you to trial this. Join me in this journey to play with your brain in a little different way and get your brain to really create your health and wellness, resolve these symptoms. Take care. Bye.